Nick, is it Ferrell or Ferrell?
It's Ferrell.
Ferrell. Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh yeah,
like a rabid raccoon,
like old
exactly
Ferrell,
like that.
Will.
like a hog.
Well, Nic Ferrell, welcome to the Partially Cooked podcast. Thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Welcome.
What's up, buddy?
Welcome.
Thanks for having me,
I think
guys.
I caught Bear mid-drink.
Absolutely. No, we're good, man.
Yes.
For anybody watching the show for the first time, what it is every month we have 5 comedians on, and we interview them, try to get them to reveal some personal information about their lives, and we use that personal information at the first Thursday of every month for a roast battle at the Joint.
Every month. This month we got the wonderful, effervescent Nic Ferrell, all the way from North. You live up in Fayetteville, right?
Yes, sir. Fayetteville.
And you're currently, what do you do for a living outside of comedy, or is it full-time stand-up now?
No, I'm a district photographer for the Fayetteville School District up here.
Oh,
so
wow.
I kind of just run around. I do there's like field trips. I usually get sent on those, or if there's like any type of superintendent stuff, I'm there with a camera. So yeah, it's actually pretty sweet. It was kind of weird at first because I was like, I don't really like taking pictures of kids for a living.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Usually if somebody finds a bunch of pictures of kids on your computer, it's not going to be good.
yeah,
It's not your day
It is
job.
nice. Exactly. It is nice because it's like the one job where like no one asks you to take your work home with you. You
Right.
know, it's like actively discouraged.
Yeah.
So
Are there any instances where you're like, oh, I better this one, like some kid jumps in front of the camera, like crotch first, and you're like, oh, no, oh, no, just an accidental creepy picture?
no, but like I've had to take pictures at like volleyball games, and I'm like, I hate the optics of like me being on the sideline with like a high power zoom lens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
like-
could get awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
But
like,
also,
I'm just gonna.
Those uniforms, like, they don't, like, it's not, like, I don't get it. I think Shane Gillis had a joke about the volleyball uniforms. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's like, dude, it's about speed. It's like, really? We'll tell that to the kids doing the special ed. Like, they're wearing, like, jersey shorts and warm-ups. Like, they're just as, it's like, it's not about speed.
Yeah, I think they should be in full sweats or something. I don't know. I'm against it as a whole, but
But also, in general.
everything besides that's pretty chill. Everything besides that aspect, I guess, is a pretty cool gig.
Right.
Hell yeah.
So
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then you also, are you still running 509? You still, like, kind of
yeah,
managing?
I'm booking. It's a once a month show now.
Okay.
You know, we're doing weekly, and then there's just like a lot of construction in like that sector of Fayetteville. So between that and just like, you know, just trying to get people in, we switched to once a month, and now we're hoping the monthly show, all the people like that would trickle in, because we have a lot of regulars, but having them all show up at once a month will be like a packed room versus having like 8 or 9 people every week is so. And that starts, you know, this will be we got a show there Friday, and then from then on it'll be once a month. So
Nice.
That's a really dope room, man. It's small, it's intimate, it's like it always is a fun time.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And I mean, that's what's annoying is it's like the room is like the hard part for a lot of shows, like the venue, but it's like the venue is the best part here. So it's like just getting people to actually like accept it and adopt it as like, this is a spot where stand up is happening that's kind of my other little job I'm constantly trying to do, is figure out how to get butts in seats.
What's been your most successful tactic as far? I know you're up there with the University of Arkansas right there. So a lot of people, especially in the state, travel to Fayetteville. So what is your tactics as far as getting them in and getting them to the show?
Well, one thing that we do that I feel like you guys, the Little Rock scene, really does well is like people like roasts. People want blood, you know? So like if you put like a roast battle on, you get a lot more attendance, which, you know, is just, I guess, like human nature or something. People are like, I don't know any of these guys, but I want some blood. So the roasts that we've done there have been pretty filled out, pretty successful. And then I started doing this. Actually, I didn't start doing it. It was Renaga was really doing it, but now we do it even more. Is the trivia stuff at the end that people really like.
I love
like,
that at your show.
Yeah, you do like a trivia question at the end of every show, or you know, usually there's like 4 comics, and it's like there's my sound guy or me, if I'm there, write like a trivia question based on their set. And if you, you know, then it goes to like, at the end of the show, the host goes back up and asks the questions. And if they get it right, they get like a free ticket to another future show. And it kind of just like incentivizes like the best listeners and like the most attentive audience members come back. And it's like, we're never like, it's never happened that we've been like sold out and someone shows up to use a free ticket. It's always like we have extra seats. So it's like, I'd much rather have people free tickets circulating than have just empty seats. You know what I mean?
Right. That's when we started doing the roast battle here, we would go give out close to 1,000 tickets a month, just because we knew that out of that 1,000 that you give away, 30 or 40 may show up, maybe. And so just putting that out there, though, it gets the word out, and we've actually had some success where people, like, we went to the zoo and gave out tickets to employees at the zoo, and now they're regular watchers of the podcast. They come out to most of the roast battles, and having that, the free ticket aspect of it, when the show starts popping off and it's selling out, that's great. But when it's not doing that, you still have people in the room and it's still a fun show.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. It's like definitely way more about like having people in the room than like crushing it with sales.
Right.
It's like, I'd rather have the whole room be in there for free, but have like a great show that people are like, oh, that room was awesome.
Yeah.
Versus like if we have like 10 people in there and they all paid and it's like no one is in there for free, but like half the room's empty or like, a third of it, it's like the optics is much better for packed out shows is the best shit. That's really what you want.
People can say it all day. They can be like, oh, you need to perform the same as you do.
Yeah.
2 people is 200. But I'll tell you one thing, man, performing for more people is way more fun as a, like in general, like I would rather much more have a room full of people that didn't pay, like you said, that are going to be there. They're going to make every aspect of the show better, including the comics are going to be sharper. Our video is going to be better afterwards.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So the investment of just doing what we have to do to get people in the seats is worth it in the long run. Because boy, it's no fun. It is weird. We've done it.
Yeah, we've done shows with 10 people in the crowd, and it's like, oh god. Especially,
and it sucks too when you're the one like putting it together, because then it's like, I'm trying to like kind of get more of like, I'm trying to get like y'all, Little Rock and Kansas City and Tulsa, and it's like people are driving to do this show,
right?
And then they like get there and it's like, fuck, like there's 3 people here, and it's like,
yeah,
and it's like kind of it's easier because at least I'm not like for our show like pay is guaranteed, so like it's not like they show up, but like a lot of shows it's like that's not the case. So it's like you got people coming doing all this shit, and it's like we made $20 and like I'll pay you out of my pocket too some just because I feel bad or something. Like that sucks, but that's like kind of how it is doing stand up at this level, I suppose.
Right. Nick, how long have you been doing stand up?
This is year 4, I guess.
Oh, wow.
4 years now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. You've done a lot in 4 years, man.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity. Like it's kind of, I started really right after COVID. And so it was kind of like a clean slate, they're like a lot of the rooms that were pre-existing were like not a thing. So it was kind of like, a lot of people were just hungry to do stuff, and rooms emerged, and I think a lot of people came out that like were fucking holed up for 2.5, 3 years and wanted shit to do. So like, it seems like a good time.
Yeah. Now we like to ask some of the same questions for every comic or for every episode, and one of those is, what is your most bigoted opinion?
I think most bigoted opinion.
Yeah.
Man, that was the most audible
put something in stone on the internet forever.
It's out. It's going to be out there.
My most bigoted opinion. Damn.
It's a we can come back to it. We can come.
Can I get some examples? What's some? Does anyone say anything funny, or is it just a mean, hateful thing they say?
We've had both. First of all, we had one comic that said that all the Native Americans should have been wiped out. We should have done reservations. We should have just killed them all. Right. And I was like, Jesus Christ, that's dark. And we've also had some silly ones. Like I think Lucas was like, I don't think non-binary is a thing. And it's really funny because he's bi and probably the closest thing to a non-binary comic that we have, and he's like, that's not real.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was what did Jared say? It was something about The Simpsons.
Jared said that The Simpsons use Korean animators, and that's bullshit. They should have used American animators.
Yeah, there you go. So I guess it's usually some kind of anti-LGBT or racist comments.
Yeah.
So,
I gotcha.
What do you really think about people? You could
okay. I gotcha.
You could be against
I guess
kids.
if,
What about those stupid kids?
those stupid kids, I'll leave them out of it just for job security.
Playing chess, we're playing checkers.
Maybe I don't know. I feel like if you are asexual, you might just be kind of a fucking loser secretly. I think it's easy. I think it's easy to be like, also, it's like if everything is a spectrum and everything is fluid, it's like I've gone through a period where I was asexual. A couple years of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
I don't know that it was by choice when I was asexual.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely have gone through periods where
totally
the pond is dry. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of fossils for sure.
Yeah. How old are you, Nick?
I'm 20. How old am I? 25?
25.
Yeah, 25.
Okay, so you're still pretty young. We asked all the comics this, and I know you're not through your 20s yet, but what do you think the dumbest thing so far you've done in your 20s has been?
Dumbest thing I've done in my 20s.
Well, since you're in your 20s, we can say as a teen, like, what's the dumbest thing you did as a teenager?
I got caught. We went camping in like high school, and we bought a bunch of weed before, and we were like, this will be a fun, like, it was kind of like, I must have been 16 or 17 because like me and my friends just like first started having cars and being able to like drive around and do like that kind of thing. It was probably 16, and we went to this state park and we bought a bunch of weed before. And we were like, we'll get there and we'll be like smart, we're going to be like sneaky. It's like as soon as we set the tent up, we're like, let's hotbox the tent. And it's probably 3 p.m. or something on a Saturday. It's not nighttime. We're not in the woods. We're like in a roundabout right off the thing.
Oh, wow.
Right. Every other campsite can smell you.
Yeah. And there's no like hidden and we're like, there's no hiding and we're like in there coughing and laughing and
playing.
Like we got there, we set the tent up, started smoking. And within 7 or 8 minutes, we had like the worst like gut drop feeling of like the dude outside the tent, like, all right, boys, like, come out of the tent.
You unzip it and it's just smoke billowing out of the tent.
Literally, it was like a fucking rave in there.
I am in my private domicile and I will not be harassed.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, and we had like it was my friend had like a big, I don't think it was like a Illadelph, but it was some nice bong, just not subtle at all. There was no hiding it. There was no nothing,
Oh my God.
And
as big as the tent.
The cops also like they're fucking with you because they're getting a kick out. I think it was like Memorial Day weekend.
Oh my
Nothing was sneaky or subtle at all.
And that's a popular time for campsites too. So I'm sure the campsite was packed with people.
Oh yeah, I think there was people like across. It was just fucking retarded. Like it was not, it was not sneaky or smart in any way. But
yeah. And
then we had like a little tiny like mini barbecue grill from Walmart, and we were cooking hot dogs, and we didn't even get through that. Like we put hot dogs on, and we're like, we should probably get high before we eat these hot dogs. So we're in there doing that, and like the grill's going. And so he's like making us take all our shit apart and like take the thing off. And we pop open the grill and the dogs are like just charred dog turd, like hard dog turd things. Yeah. The cop was like, you boys want these now? You guys got the munchies? And we're all just like, oh, that's really funny, but fuck you. My parents are going to kill me. Like,
did they call your folks?
Yeah, they called all of our parents, and we're all just sitting. We're also like, I was fried. Like, yeah. It was like, this is also like early years of smoking weed too, where it's like, it was one of the first times I went with people to like pick up weed from a dude's house or from a dude's like a apartment complex, So it was like early on in that whole thing, and I was just fried. And then like we're sitting there, and you're also doing that thing where like you're trying not to laugh at each other because like the state troopers were very visibly pissed, or at least like giving the illusion that they were, But the worst part was they call our parents and stuff, and my dad comes to get me, but he brought my little sister who's 2 years younger, and just and she was sitting shotgun, and she gets there and she's laughing, and they're just like enjoying it, they're just like savoring every minute. And then I had to ride in the back seat the whole time, and then my dad was like, talking to her, and he was like, "What do you want to get for dinner?" And I'm just in the back, like hungry because we fried our dogs and didn't ask me. And got Mexican food, didn't get me anything. I just sat there.
So you had to watch your family eat Mexican food while you're high as shit. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. And then I got to our house, and my dad had done a bunch of, he had like, we had a bunch of trees in our front yard. He had like pruned all these trees. And he was like, "All right, go stack all the wood in the backyard." And I'm still cooked. Like I'm still like high. So I was just out there just stacking wood. Like, God, this is fucking... I don't know. I guess I deserve it. I guess this is justice, but
this would be way worse not high.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that was definitely like just a dumb bonehead thing. But
that's a great story.
Great story.
Yeah.
Great time.
It's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
Nick, what's a conspiracy theory? I feel like you're a conspiracy theory guy. What's one you low key believe?
I mean, it's easier to list the ones I don't believe than the ones I do.
Right.
I'm all freaking. What do you want to talk about, dude?
What's your favorite?
My favorite conspiracy?
What's that one that, like, at the bar, if you hear someone talking about it, you're gonna be like, "Well, I guess I've got to talk to these people now."
I mean, I'll talk to any of them. I mean, my family group messages like that. I'm getting text about lizard people. I'm getting text about chemtrails. I'm getting
from the family?
I'm hearing it all.
Oh, have you seen what do you think of the new discovery under the pyramids?
The pyramids?
Yeah. Dude.
So I haven't fully researched it, but I mean, I'm not gonna. It's a conspiracy, right?
Right.
I'm going to look at one AI generated image on Facebook and be like, "That's true. I believe whatever."
Yep. I'm the same way, man.
I don't know. I like it. I'm pro that. I guess it's whatever happens. I mean, like the pyramids are weird, right? Because people are like, you got some people that are like aliens built it. You got some people that are like, it's all slave labor. And some people are like, it's like a power plant, is what they think.
The power plant one's a fun one.
Yeah, the power plant. I like, I got into a little bit of a rabbit hole with like sound, like frequency stuff with like, like they have like those vibrating tables where they can vibrate a frequency and it makes like a different design in the sand on top. Right. And then there's like some videos of dudes with like a didgeridoo that like
picking up rocks pieces and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's like usually like a ball of tinfoil. It's not, I've never seen them do it with like a boulder, but
yeah, it's always something that's smaller than your fist that.
Yeah. It'll be like, something light. Right. But I like that idea of like sound shit. And then I'm like, all these old chants, there's like chants is like a big part of like a lot of like religious stuff is like chant based and like gathering of people and chants and hymns and hums. And I'm like, who knows? Maybe it was some kind of pyramid-y, acoustic-y shit. And so now when they're like, it's miles deep. I'm like, bro, that's a chant tunnel, dude. That's something.
I can't remember who it was, but someone was saying it's like it's a tool to help you astral project. Like in a certain spot of the pyramids, and the sounds and the frequencies help you exit your body. Or maybe it's pooping. I don't know. Maybe it's like it's the ultimate constipation cleanser.
It could just be like a big septic tank, and they're going to start digging and be like, "This is not worth our time to be digging down here."
Yeah. Where I'm at with it is I am like really hooked on the theory that what is that in the Sahara Desert, that eye? I forget the name of it.
An eye, like an eyeball?
Yeah, like it looks like an eyeball from space, but it's called like the something structure, the Akarat structure, or I don't know what it is. If there's anybody watching, they'll definitely be screaming at their TV or phone like it's this structure. But they think that was the spot where Atlantis was, and then whatever happened in the Younger Dryas that came in and wiped out and did all the climate change. It looks like, if you look at the sand, it looks like ripples, like giant ripples, where the ocean came through there and wiped it out. And I think the pyramids are older than dynastic Egypt and are part of the Atlantean Empire or kingdom or whatever. And what they're discovering underneath them, I think that is going to give proof to that, or I hope. That's my hope, is that it's going to realize, like, people are going to start realizing that, all these conspiracy theories about like ancient civilizations and Atlantis and stuff actually may be a little less far-fetched than we were led to believe.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It seems like time.
Recon structure.
Yeah, you got it.
Boom! There it is. Yeah, recon
Nice.
structure. That's what it's called. That's a fun rabbit hole to go down on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Jimmy Corsetti, who his whole channel is based around it, and it's a lot of fun.
Sweet. Yeah, definitely some of that stuff with like, people are like, our recorded history is like, history is much older,
right?
Or like there's been like multiple civilizations that got wiped out in like floods and different stuff. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like all that stuff just because I have a bad sense of history in general. Like, I got like the worst. I couldn't make like a good timeline, so I'm like,
that's more fun.
Yeah,
to
let's just tack on several civilizations before too. Why not?
Right. This human antiquity is much older than we think. Like, it's ridiculous. And that's more fun to believe than any religion. Name a religion cooler than that we've just been keep exploding ourselves and forgetting. And a few of us keep coming back. It's like the Matrix.
Totally, yeah.
What okay, you
just
said
rinse and repeat, yeah.
You said there's some conspiracies you do like you don't believe in. It'd be easier to list the ones. What's like the dumbest conspiracy that you see?
I mean, like flat Earth is fucking dipshits. That's dumb. I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like that one's pretty easily provable.
Yeah. And I mean, I couldn't prove it, but I'm not.
There's been flat earthers that have tried to in an effort to prove that the Earth is flat. They have proven it's round.
Right.
Like they set up this laser thing where, and they set it up like a mile away, and like if the Earth is round, then we're not going to be able to catch the laser, and they couldn't. The laser it went above their receiver, and they were like, shit, and they were like, well, something's wrong. We got to change it. And
I know there was
over and over again.
There was one group of people, they paid like $30,000 a piece to go to Antarctica to prove the Earth was flat, and they saw with their own eyes the sun being up for 24 hours, which can't happen in a flat Earth model. It only happens in a globe model.
Wow. Yeah,
so
I respect that. Flat Earthers are retarded. Using the word retarded is probably retarded, but here I am on the internet. Nick, what do you think is the worst job you've ever been fired from, and why? You're so young.
I've only worked like a handful. Basically, every job I either leave. I never get like fired. I leave usually. I also have done a lot of jobs. Like I get guitar lessons for a while. Like jobs like that or stuff. Or like I was selling stuff on like flipping stuff off Facebook Market. And like this is like the school job is like my first real like go into an office every day type of thing. So I don't know if I have a great answer for that. I tried to be the mascot a couple times after our elementary school had like a carnival, and I was a freshman in high school, I think, and we lived like in the neighborhood where the elementary school was, and I got to do it 1 or 2 years. It was like they asked a favor, but then I ended up really liking it because it's kind of fun. You just run around, you're all hype.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was like I thought they were like, you're the best eagle this Lake Point has ever had, and they didn't ask me the next year, and I asked, and they go, "Oh, we actually found someone." So I don't know if that counts as getting fired, but I was pissed about it. I thought some very nasty, negative thoughts about the carnival.
Fuck that eagle.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What did I do wrong?
I didn't show up the next year. I just stewed about it.
Did you like watch the guy in the eagle suit and be like, "What a dork! He can't even dance."
Yeah, he can't even. Yeah, he can barely even fucking. He can barely even hit the Dougie. So
he's not even pretending to peck people's hot dogs.
Yeah,
rookie.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I don't have a great answer for that one.
Cool.
That's really that's my biggest sense of rejection until I started doing comedy, and now you get rejected constantly.
What do you think the dumbest purchase you've ever made has been?
Oh, fushigi ball.
Fushigi ball?
Fushigi.
Y'all ever have a fushigi ball?
I've never had one. I've held one.
What is this? I've never heard of this.
Oh boy.
It's a scam. It's some snake oil bullshit. That guy.
It's so funny.
The fushigi ball. It was.
Oh my god! Yeah. You look like you play with a fushigi ball, dude. Yes, you look. You have one on you.
If I had a ponytail right now, I would be the guy from the commercial. Like that dude. that dude had the whole country in a chokehold. Like, it was one of those as seen on TV ads for like, it had to be from like 2008 to 2012, just nonstop in between every cartoon on like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or any of those, you know. It was like in the same, like you'd see it all the time with like you know, like the Zoo books, you know. I would say it was just as played or more played than like the Zoo book ads, if you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we probably watched different levels of different eras of cartoons, you know. You guys are probably like Steamboat Willie era.
Oh my god! How dare you?
I was watching like Ben 10, like Cartoon Network.
Gotcha.
Still, much older.
But this ad would come on, and it looked like a little magic floating ball. It seemed like some Bob Lazar, like non-Newtonian physics shit.
Yeah.
And it was just a mirrored ball with a layer of acrylic on it, and it sucked. It was nothing. It's
just a ball.
You know what? I actually had one here. I carried it with me for so long. Like, I had it here a few months ago, but I gave it to my younger cousin a month or two ago.
Damn.
A
Or else
new hand
I'd bring
touches
it up.
the beacon.
So what was the gimmick by? Like, what do you think it could like float?
Yeah, it
or
looked
something?
like the way you moved it. It looked like it was floating. It was all an illusion of your flick of the wrist. You know, it was.
He was the person in the commercial was very skilled, and you know, give him his flowers because he might have been the best in the world at it because he made it look like it was like he could like. You got to edit in some footage of it or something.
Okay.
It truly is. Or Google, give it the search when this is over because it was truly like.
I've got it up right here. Like I pulled it up. And,
show Bair.
Show me just so I know what we're talking about. Because I may have seen the ad and just don't remember.
Oh, hang on. God. There you go.
It was very. If you're like 8 years old, you're like, damn, that is magic. I need one.
Oh, they're just like. Rubbing their hands
They're
on it.
Sorcerers. They're using sorcery.
Oh, I see the guy with the ponytail. That is you, dude. That is totally you.
Exactly. Yeah.
A few days of neglect and then shave everything but that soul patch, and dude, your name could be Fushigi.
Okay, for the people listening, I am going to edit in this footage because this is crazy.
It's insane. I mean, like, if I see it now, I'm tempted to buy one, but I think they had to be discontinued because like no one. I don't know if anyone ever got it and got to that level besides that guy. Like, he might be the best to ever do it.
How much did they cost? Do you remember?
Probably like, it might have been like $29.99 or something.
God.
It was one of those things where we had two in the house though. We had two in the house because it was like,
that's
buy one right now, you get another. You what?
That's our kitchen Fushigi ball.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it gets it's destroyed after like a month because you're just dropping it every 5 seconds. Like, you're dropping it like, and then it's like, once there's scratches and stuff, even if you could get it, it's like the illusion is the reflectiveness and the clearness. Okay. I have just a scuffed up, fucking lacrosse ball basically at that point. So yeah, that's for sure one of the, that's one I think about now and I get mad about. Like, I'm getting mad, like, as we're talking, because I'm like, what a fucking cunt that dude was. Like, it just is. It's the dirtiest marketing. Like, it'd be like if, like, I don't know. It'd be like if you've never heard of basketball, and then like they just show you a bunch of video of like Michael Jordan playing basketball, and they're like, if you buy this right now, this could be you. And it's like, no one's getting that good at that. Like, that's fucking. It's insane. Yeah.
That's how I felt about yo-yo tricks. When I saw somebody do like really cool yo-yo tricks, I went out and got a yo-yo. I was like, I'm going to do that. And boy, yo-yos make me feel so stupid.
Yeah.
They're very frustrating.
Yeah.
There's nothing more frustrating than
yo-yos in that. I'd say sleight of hand magic is in there. You know, like something you get as like a shitty Christmas gift from like an aunt.
Yes.
It's like a sleight of hand magic set, and you do it for 10 minutes. And then you're like, this is horseshit. Like, fuck this. Fuck my aunt,
Everyone you're showing also got one of those last year. So they're like, I know that the ball's in half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Okay, this is a two-part question. First, because you run 509, and I know that venue has brought in some weirdies throughout the year that you've been there. What's the weirdest thing you've seen at 509?
Oh yeah, that's one girl. Like, So like one girl, like I guess mentioned earlier in the show that she was like drinking her piss or something.
Oh.
And then that was like maybe the first comic got up there and was talking about that. And then I get up there maybe like a comic or two into the show. And I didn't know what she was talking about. I was like, is this like a thing you tried once or you were drunk? And she was like, no, like I drink my, and she pulled out a jar. And she had her piss
No.
in a jar. Yeah. And I was just like,
Did she drink it? Did she take a swig?
She did drink it that night. Yeah,
Oh,
it was there. Like it was her bev, like, you know.
Did it have like a decor on the jug, or was it just like a glass jug?
It was just like a mason. It was like a ball mason jar.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How rugged.
Oh, like the worst moonshine. Like you think you're getting moonshine and it's a bottle of piss.
God.
Oh.
Yeah. And like a tall boy. Like it was like a 40 ounce of the worst shit. And you can picture what this lady looked like, you know what I mean? Like
I'm imagining she has to be like the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. Because if she's ugly, nobody's letting you like if it's just like some big Bertha, it's like Bertha, quit drinking your piss. What are you fucking doing?
I didn't know 509 was BYOP. What the fuck, dude? This whole time? How did she get through the doors with this?
Did she explain why she drank her piss?
I think it was just like, I don't know. She was like one of these like white dreadlock ladies with like a bunch of rocks on her. You know, she had like a whole
she had
one
of those.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Never shaved her armpits, hairy legs.
No, and I was like, I mean, we hit it off over like the whole sound, vibration, frequency talk.
Oh,
like,
I bet.
That's about where our two fucking perspectives ended. Because that's like all we had in common. And yeah, it was just crazy. I think there's like some kind of list of like vitality, I want to say, is like a thing that she might have said, something about vitality, which I don't even know what that really means. But
well, apparently the Philosopher's Stone, which is in Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling wrote about it, but that actually was a thing that alchemists were trying to make in medieval times. And apparently, I watched a conspiracy video on this, and apparently how to make one is by like boiling your piss or
fermenting it.
Yeah, fermenting your piss until you make a rock. You have to get like gallons and gallons of piss over several years until you make like a giant rock, and then you either eat it or
you hold it.
I don't know what you do with it.
You put it under your pillow.
But apparently, piss is supposed to be the secret to eternal life. But it's like
so
I don't want to live that much.
Yeah, dude. I'm so crazy you said that, because I was going to bring up a book called The Book of Aquarius, which is about how to make the Philosopher's Stone. And I thought it was going to be like the secret of like, you know, the fountain of youth. And I was like, they found it, you know, some like archaeologist's tale. But no, it was a step-by-step guide on how to ferment your own piss and store it.
Yes, yeah. The video I watched talked about that book. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So she's onto something.
She was a comic?
No, she was just an audience member.
Oh, okay.
And she had great skin, so I don't know. She could have been totally. I'm not in a place to talk. I got rosacea. I got fucking acne and whatever. So I might try it at some point. But
drink her piss.
Yeah, you got to drink her piss.
Yeah.
You should just have a Stanley Cup ready for her next time, like as a gift. Like upgrade. Yes. Put that mason jar back on the shelf.
I used to get mad when venues don't let you like bring in a water bottle or bring in an outside drink. Yeah. But if I owned a place and somebody brought in a jar of piss and was drinking it, I'd be like, you can't, no more of that.
Honestly, if I ever own a venue, I'm going to use this as a reason. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like that one time I was somewhere, I heard somewhere some lady brought in a jar of her own pee, and I can't let that happen here. What if she dropped it?
Yeah. What if she dropped it and that mason jar shattered all over the club?
Oh my God.
I don't know. I mean, the Kava bar is pretty fucking chill. You know what I mean? To be fair, she's in the right spot.
She is in the right spot for that. Yes.
Yeah.
Can I add this to the Kava?
Also, like, if you've got creepy dudes hitting on you, like, most chicks will throw a drink in their face. Like, you throw piss in their face. That's a great deterrent. That's almost like a skunk.
Depending on how creepy the dude is. Because some guys might be like putting blood in the water. You know? For some of these dudes,
they can smell it from a mile away. That's the piss lady. Let's go.
Oh my God. Or, they finish right there and they're like, I'm done. Thank you. That's exactly what I needed.
Oh, Nick, what is the most embarrassing thing you've ever searched for online? That's not porn, obviously.
Yeah, no, it's not porn. It's definitely like how to levitate or something.
That's great.
I know for a fact I've searched that, how to levitate, how to levitate, how to hold your breath a long time, shit like that. Where you're like very minor, cool X-Men abilities. You're like, I'm sure with training I could do something.
Yeah, did you get anywhere with that?
Did you ever levitate?
Did you get any level?
No, it ended up just being, believe it or not, the guy was fucking. It was a scam again. I was maybe I'm a fucking dipshit because I fell for fushigi. I fell for levitation.
It's just davidblaine.com pops up.
Yeah. No, it was just a dude standing in front of like a mirror, like a mirror, and he had his feet like I'm trying to get the angle right on here. He had his feet like this, and his back foot was lifting up this one, but you couldn't really see.
I've been tricked by that before.
Yeah, it should have taken anyone with fucking 6 IQ points 2 seconds to figure out what he was doing. But
I feel like we could sell you on a pretty cool cult.
Yeah, you guys tricked me into doing this podcast, so clearly I'm not. I'll go along with basically whatever.
It wasn't hard, dude. I was like, pick a card, and all of them said, do the podcast, and you were like, ooh, man, lucky me.
Fuck yeah. Nick, who do you think? This is a question we like to ask all the comedians, and I feel like it gives you a good idea of who they are as a comic. And when I ask this, I don't mean greatest of all time, like most influential over the whole scheme. I mean like influential to you. Who is your top 4 Mount Rushmore of comedians that has been the most influential on you?
Top 4? Mm-hmm. Well, I love Rodney Dangerfield.
Okay.
I like his both his speed, like he's rapid fire, which because there's also like, if you're like a nerd about, and you guys are obviously nerds about it too because you do it, but like there's a comedian means like it's such a broad thing because like styles are so different.
Right.
Because some people get up there and they're really only telling 5 main jokes, but they got stories, and they're punched up and stuff. But dudes that are up there doing like Dangerfield shit where it's like he's probably telling 90 jokes or like more, what I mean? Like he's rapid fire doing jokes. So I've always loved like that. It's just like from a joke telling thing. I'm like, he's great. And I like that he like didn't really pop until he was older, which I think is like a cool thing, as far as like, especially like it's so easy to get like bent and like down on yourself about like what's like where you're at, like comparative shit, which is just not helpful, especially in this type of thing. But
right.
I like that. Dangerfield's for sure up there. Norm is up there for sure, just because like I feel like as far as dudes that just are comedic forces, like he's just like and he's a weird one because like as far as bits, I'm like, I don't know how many bits. I like the Professor of Logic joke. You guys heard that one about like the dude and his neighbors? Like I love that. Like he has great bits for sure. And obviously like he's got great bits from like Weekend Update stuff, right? But just as like a dude that's like, I feel like always on, like I don't know if there's many people that are more on than he was, like, you know what I mean? Just people are just always on, doing a bit, even if it's just for like one other comic they're with. And I think like a lot of those stories after he died have come out and people are like, yeah, he was just fucking around at all times. And I like that, as far as just like, I don't know, just people that are like, aren't, cause also you start to realize like there's a lot of people that are like comedians, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like all jobs, right? There's different, like people are doing it for different reasons and doing it at different levels, but you can very much, and it's kind of like an inspiring thing, I think, because there's people who do it that figure out structure and formula and do it and can get booked and do it. And you might not think that they're like that funny. And like when you talk to in person, you're definitely like, this person isn't like a super hilarious force, right?
Yeah.
But then when you meet people that you're like, holy shit, this is just like one of the funniest people that I've been around. I think that's like a cool thing. And there's a lot of people like that don't ever do comedy. because they have their fucking mental health in better check, probably.
Yeah. Some of the funniest people I've ever met aren't comics, and I try to get them to do stand up, and that's just not for everybody.
Yeah, they're like,
totally. Yeah,
I don't need that validity. I don't need that. I'm good.
Yeah, they have exactly. So yeah, like Dangerfield, I like Norm, and as far as comedians, I like Mulaney was like, he was one of the first. I used to listen to like I found stand up through like Pandora, like it had like comedy radio, and then like I listened to comedy radio like in middle school, and then started figuring out like again like, oh, there's like a lot of different like subgenres of this, it's like, people call it like, there's a billion different genres of music, and no one ever's like, do you just like you like comedy is like a thing people will say, and it's like if someone said do you like music, it's like, well, that's like a much deeper, there's like a much more nuanced question. But for whatever reason with comedy, people are like, do you like comedy? And then it's like you're expected to like, it's so I don't know, there's a bunch of different subgenres, right? But I found like Mulaney, and I really like his kind of I just really liked him, and I think he's one of the best. Bill Burr was one of the people I found at that same time.
Right.
I'd say comedians I was listening to like formative when I was like first discovering comedy was like John Mulaney, Bill Burr, Mitch Hedberg, Hannibal Buress was one that was getting recommended to me a lot, and I really loved Hannibal.
Hannibal's hilarious.
I think he might be like criminally underrated.
Yeah.
I don't see him much anymore.
Chad Daniels was one that I liked a lot. That Chad Daniels and Dan Cummings were two that I really liked, and I guess both of them actually are still pretty big and do their thing. But I really just liked them. Yeah, and then like as you get older, like or as I get more into comedy as a thing, I go and listen to like Pryor and Carlin, and like start checking out like Def Jam comedy stuff, and like I just like even if it's not like my style, I like Dimitri Martin. I love Dimitri Martin.
Dimitri's
as
great.
far as just dudes that I watch, and I'm like him and like Bo Burnham, like I can't really watch without being like, God damn, this dude's like just a fucking genius. Like both of them, when I watch them, I'm like, you get like worked up, or you're like, how did you even think of
it's gonna take a long time to construct this Mount Rushmore for you, but I like that you're going on your favorite. You love comedy. You're like, well, I love all the comics.
It's tough to like put, because everyone is like, it is very different. You know what I mean? Like, and again, like you listen to different comics when you're in different moods. Like when I try to listen, like you can't always listen to Burr if you're like not like fired up about anything. Bill Burr is can be tough to like listen to. Like sometimes I just want like silly. I don't want like any kind of like he has more of like a angry like tone and voice and stuff. But then like if I want something more like applicable to like commentary stuff, I still think Carlin is like one of the most like pointed perspectives. You know what I mean? Like as far as people just listen, and that's why he gets like reposted every fucking 4 years, clips of him, because it's like
it's still relevant,
applicable. And it's going to continue because it's more like commentary on like humanity more so than like a specific issue, which is like different leagues of what people are doing, right?
I get that feeling like when you were talking about like when you watch Bo Burnham or Dimitri Martin, like there's some comics where they take an idea and it's so simple, but it's so genius, it just pisses you off because you're like, fuck, how do you get to that level? How do you encounter the ether and pull those simple but brilliant ideas out of the ether like that?
It's like, I've encountered this thing he's talking about so many times, but I've never had that thought.
Right.
And I'm supposed to be funny. I pride myself. I want to do this. I have the fucking maniacal mind to do stand-up, so I should at least be funny enough to take these simple ideas like other people. But no, because I'm not a genius. I'm dumb.
Yeah, one thing I like about stand-up, though, and not every comic agrees with me when I say this, but I feel like anybody can do stand-up and be successful. It's just how much work are you willing to put into it? Because I feel like I'm not one of those comedic forces. Like when I walk in a room, it's people aren't just falling over belly laughing just at my existence, and I'm not just pulling those brilliant ideas out of the ether in everyday conversation. But if I sit down and write and work on a bit, I can get a really funny bit over time.
Right.
And
I've also like the way you put comedy versus music, that really like that struck a chord with me. I really, I do that. Like I do like if I'm in a mood to hear some angry comedy, you know what I mean? I won't put on Gaffigan. I'm like, that would make no sense. So like that sometimes I do want to hear some goofy shit, and I'll put on like Brian Regan. Like there are these different genres of silly, dry, angry, political. It all has its place. And so like when someone's just like, I like comedy, you're like, you got to be more specific.
Yeah, you can definitely figure out way more about a person with like a couple of like, who do you like, and they tell you who they like, and then it's like, okay, I kind of understand you like way better than if you just said I like stand up. Like that's a huge umbrella. Like,
right.
And you can totally misjudge someone because you're like, I thought you like this, and then you not into it. So
so you've been doing it for 4 years. What is your, because every comic that's been doing it a while has at least one horrific bomb story. What is your like worst bomb?
Yes, this is the second part of the 2-part question. I appreciate you bringing it back. I'm retarded.
Worst bomb? I mean, they all kind of just like, I don't know. They all sort of just blur together. I mean, like I've been zipping down to Austin like this year and last year. I've been like trying to make more of an effort to like to travel some. And I'm from Austin, and I work for the school district. So I get like I was going to go back this week because I'm on spring break right now.
Right.
But I'm going to go and be there for probably like a month in the summertime. So I was like, also it is like a grind, and like we don't have to talk about Austin because everyone's talking about Austin, but like
no, I like
that's got its own pros and cons and shit.
Yes. It's a difficult place to be. It is hard to be there.
Especially if you're at our level where no one really knows who you are. Like once you're in at the mothership and everybody knows who you are, then I'm sure it's Mecca, and I'm sure it's all these wonderful things that we hear about on podcasts.
It's amazing.
But when I go to Austin, it's like, hey, get in line behind these other 300 motherfuckers that also listen to that podcast you like.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely like the worst I've felt is like driving home after like just an abysmal night of open mics in Austin. Just because you're like, it's like one of the things I like about stand up, it's like the most humbling of all the things, because like you're like, I did this what I said tonight like a week ago in front of a packed room, and like it was one of the best shows I've had.
Right.
But you do it in front of a new group or whatever, and you're like, I suck dick, I'm so bad. Like, and you have to like be able to shake that off for sure. But yeah, just like, and I also like, I'm driving an hour from my parents' house to like get to downtown. So it's like, you just have that, driving home at like 1 a.m. and you had to like run away from a homeless guy to get to your car, and there's like shit on the sidewalk. Like, and then you're like, oh, fucking, and I paid $20 to park, and I bought a coffee for $10 down there. And you're just like, I'm like $30 in the hole, and I bombed. And I got to do it again tomorrow night, or else I'm like not going to take myself seriously as like a person doing it.
Right.
So yeah, I don't have like a great, like this one time I did this or that, but I would say like, yeah, the open mic scene in Austin is like one of the more, humbling scenes, and it's good. Like, I think it's good for you to like be in, I mean, like, I'm sure like if I went to New York or something, it would be like more similar. And that's kind of like a thing I worry about, just like the small pond thing, where it's like, it's great to be like good, you want to be good in wherever you are, but also like, you got to go to like these bigger scenes and test and like, but as far as like Austin as a whole, like, I'm not like in a hurry to go back there. Like, I don't like, I don't like where I have to be to do stand up. Like, you got to go to like, I actively tried to avoid 6th Street my entire life in high school experience. Like I never got a fake ID. Like I wouldn't go with all my friends because they were like all my friends were going in like high school, you know, to 6th Street to like the shitty bars that would let you in and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, 6th Street is like fucking Afghanistan. Like I don't want to go
Yeah.
to 6th Street. And now the irony is like every comedy club is either on or like right adjacent to 6th Street where I'm trying to go and trying to like do the thing I want to do. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was kind of a rambly answer, but
yeah, but it's
that's
good.
a good answer.
It's very real.
Yeah, it is just, yeah. And I think like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of comedians or other people listen to this too. So it's like, I don't know. It's everyone just like talks about Austin with such like a kind of rosy tint, like, you know, like, I don't know. Maybe not everyone.
They had a very different experience than I did.
Right.
It was, I feel like it's not bad. It's not like it's a bad thing. It's frustrating, but it's also like it's a super test. It is a test of your will and your strength, your talent, your patience, everything.
And like I was in Los Angeles for a couple of years before COVID doing stand up, and when I go to Austin now, I see like dozens of comics that I knew in Los Angeles that just upped and moved to Austin. And if you can get on great shows down there, I mean, it's world class. It's awesome. But if you don't have the connections and you can't, and you're just trying to hit the open mics and trying to hopefully have a good set and meet a booker to get put on a good show, like it's abysmal. It's a grind for sure.
It's like on Interstellar where he's like watching himself leave, you know, and he's like, no, you're just hanging on the window outside. Like, how do I get in there? Dude?
Yeah.
I want in.
Yeah.
I want to hear your
Totally.
jokes that you're laughing about, but you can't. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's definitely, and I do like, you know, I'll say all its negative stuff, and then I'm like, I do also like I like the trial by fire. Like
that's what makes a great comedy. You need that trial by fire. If you're in
and it's
like a small scene, if you're in a small scene and you're not going and you're not putting yourself through that, you'll be good for your small scene. But none of us do this because we want to be good. We all do this because we want to be great. Like we all want to be able to sell out theaters and put out specials and inspire people and like make a mark. And so if you want to do that, you have to have that trial by fire.
Right. Yeah, you get. I mean, there's some comics that are, you know, I feel like they're hobbyists, and that's, you know, fine. That's whatever. They're gonna live in their comfort zone. But yeah, if you want to grow, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to find that discomfort because that's where growth is born. Like you will be better. Like every comic that I see come through here that is from or lived in or performs in regularly LA, Chicago, New York, they're like, you've got to get the fuck out of here. Your set will change drastically. It's like you don't have to necessarily move, but like go visit more. Like go and get in these scenes and get good in front of those crowds. And it's like, all right.
Yeah, I think like the traveling around, that's kind of like my goal for this year and next year. I just, you know, is just like I want to get out more because like, you know, if you're just only doing shows in your city, like even if you have great shows every week, it's like you're not testing. Like the best possible thing that could happen would be like to go on tour with like someone, you know? Like just because you're getting the reps and you're getting stage time in different scenes.
Right.
And I think Austin might be like a great place to go with like, because another thing too that I would think about is you do need like the minutes and the stage time and all that. And like if you were starting in Austin, like the amount of good quality minutes you're getting per week is like, even if there's, you know, even if you're going to 3 open mics a night, it's like every open mic has 2 people that like aren't happy to be there.
Right.
And it's like that's kind of a wash because you're not really getting any feedback or data from like your set or your jokes, not really like knowing if it's good or not. So I think like going there with like, I mean, like, okay, I have like now when I go back, it's like a little bit more of a relief than when I was first started going. Cause I'm like, I'm just there. I'm doing my 15 or I'm doing my 20 or I'm doing like stuff in the act to showcase basically. Mm-hmm. I'm not really like workshopping anything.
Right.
Unless it's like low stakes and I have something like I'm excited about, but
yeah, when I'm on the road, it's in new scenes like that, I'm always showcasing. Like I can do open mics and work new bits when I'm back home. And but when I'm out, like this is my one opportunity to put my best foot forward. So I'm taking my best joke, something that I'm inspired to tell, something I'm having fun telling. That way that translates, and hopefully I can get more work out of it. Because at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to do is get work. We want to do this for a job instead of having to go work for somebody at some corporation.
Exactly. Taking pictures of kids.
Yeah.
For the man.
I mean, it's got its perks for sure. But
All right, Jeffrey Epstein.
That's late enough into the podcast. No one from work's watching this far.
Yeah, that's good.
Now we can take the limiter off. You know what I mean? Bring back that bigot question. Let's bring that
one. Nick, do you have any shows that you'd like to hype up before we get out of here?
Any shows? Oh, I do actually have a show. My friend Nathan Brewer. I don't know if you guys have got to meet Nathan or worked with him at all. But
the name sounds familiar. I think I have.
Yeah, he's a comic up here, a really funny dude, and he's putting together he had a show he did in TK's in Dallas a few months ago, and I guess it went really, really good. And the guy gave him was like, yeah, like run it back. So I'm doing TK's Comedy Club May 2nd and 3rd. And if anyone here is from Dallas watching, go to that.
Nice.
Because again, like we said, it's better to perform in front of people than not people. So
yeah. Congratulations, man. That's really cool.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm like, my goal is trying to do Dallas, trying to do Kansas City, trying to do Joplin, Little Rock, Austin. Like, so any of those. Yeah, I guess another question too. We don't have to keep talking if you guys are trying to wrap it up.
No, you're good. Ask away.
Do you guys have? Yeah. Do you guys have some? One thing that I'll say is that correlated with like starting stand up was like goals and being like having like ideas of what I'd like to do and some different types of goals. You know, do you guys have like a goal or one or two or whatever you got? But anything for this year of time that you guys are like actively being like, this would be on my list of things that I'm trying to, both of you. That's a question for both of you.
When I first started, my goals looked like, I want to get on this show or I want to perform at that place. And the more I do it, the more I realize that stuff like that isn't necessarily in my control. And there'll still be shows and places that I try to get to, and I'm actively asking, trying to hunt down the booker, send them my tape, like do auditions in front of them to get those spots. But what I can control is my own set and my own progress. And so all of my goals are focused on, I want an hour by the end of the year that I am so confident in, because I've been fortunate to have some success putting out bits and having some of them go a little viral and getting a little bit of a social media following. And so I know I can do it. I know that is an avenue that's possible. So that is my goal. I want to be able to write and get a hot new hour and then cut it up into clips and put it out one clip at a time, just to try to get some traction to get me into those places. Because I've been to Austin, I've been to New York, been to Chicago. Like, I get on the road as much as I can, but one thing I'm learning is that when I go into these places, like, nobody knows who the fuck I am. And it doesn't matter. Like, my numbers on social media can be great, but if nobody knows who I am, like, they're not going to waste their time booking me. And so I have to find a way to reach them before I get there. I have to find a way to have jokes on social media that people are sharing and laughing at. And then when I show up, they're like, oh shit, that guy's here. Like, and then you can get the spots, and then you can get, so all of my goals are focused on, because right now I have 30 minutes that I know I can get booked and paid for and be proud of, but I want to extend that, and I want an hour. And so I'm just trying to get to that hour.
That's a good goal.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a good goal. Well, will you retire it after the year? Or are you going to use it after it's all been released and start another hour? Yeah,
because the way I see it is that my favorite comics usually put out a special once every 2 years. So you got a year to write the hour and a year to work it. And after that year of working it, you put out the special, then you dump it and do it again. And I am not prolific like that, but I want to be. And the only way to do it is to do it. Right. And so ideally, I would put out the hour, one clip at a time, like I said, and then never do that material again and write a whole new one. But that also scares the fuck out of me, because when I get booked in places like, hey, you need to come do 30 minutes. It's like, well, shit, like, if I'm doing 30 minutes, I need to have something that I know is good. Right. So.
Right. That is scary.
What about you, Seth?
It also feels like it's different now with, like, you know, I kind of thought the same thing of like, if I post a clip, right, it's like dead, like I'm burning it. But like the overlap of people that are like seeing my clip and like seeing me live is like no one's, you know,
right. It's
basically no one is seeing it
on a Venn diagram. Don't intersect at all.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. It's like they're two just totally in different orbits.
Right.
So it's like, I do think you could probably post that hour, clips of that hour, and then I mean, obviously if you want to like be working on a new thing, right, it's like, do that. Right. But I think, I wrestle with the idea of like, oh, now people have seen it, but it's like no one fucking has seen it. Like no one's, and even if they saw it, people's attention spans are so short that like they won't even remember that they saw that bit and liked it.
Dude, I had it happen in Fort Smith. I had a bit that got like 4 million views, and then I was at a show in Fort Smith and I did that bit and I was like, nobody here has seen this, and then 2 people from the crowd came up and was like, hey, like we saw that bit on TikTok, and they were like encouraging and happy about it, but dude, inside I was like, no.
Oh, that's exciting, dude.
Oh, it hurt though. I was like, oh fuck, I should have had something new for you. My bad, man.
Oh, man,
like,
no, it's sometimes a good joke is like a song, you know. You like to hear it again, you know.
Oh, I disagree.
That's something I do worry about, because I do have jokes that I would, if I retired, I'd miss telling, you know. I'd be like, this is one of my favorites. I like it. So yeah, I had a few goals this year. Like I wrote them down at the beginning of the year. One of them was I want to write a pilot episode of like a TV show, like a 30-minute, 22-minute episode, you know, incorporating commercials involved, or like a longer form. I think it'd be probably best at like shorter. And then I wanted to get one video go viral. I was like, I've been doing this shit for so long and I've never had a video pop off. Finally had that happen with the fucking stupid AI shit. Stop doing real stand-up. And then I want to get paid. I want to get hired on by at least 3 comedy clubs, real comedy clubs, working comedy clubs as a feature act by the end of the year. Nice. I'd settle for 1. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, I think those are all good. Their show, are you talking animated or live, or what do you?
No, I guess I want to write the pilot. I feel like live would be better. It'd be mostly like, you know,
easier to make if it's people, but I'd like to do like a cartoon, and it's like I think like I was watching I watched this morning like a behind the scenes making of King of the Hill, and I was just like, God damn, that's my secondary dream. If I could do get credit as a comedian from doing good stand up and get permission to do like whatever else, you know. I think cartoon would be so fun, but like you just said, like I think it's so much, there's so many more jobs and people you have to recruit for animation than like live action. You could realistically do like It's Always Sunny and just get like a camcorder and start making the pilot.
Right. Like you know, a lot of people, this is kind of backwards thinking, and you guys have it right. You know, you're working on your material. You want to become excellent comedians that are funny, without a shadow of a doubt. For me, I've been doing this a long time. I'm a bit jaded, not much longer than you guys, but I'm a bit jaded, and I feel like I'm going to take a back door in. You know, I want to go and create something else, maybe like a cartoon, like a TV show, that is going to become so popular that now I'd be the guy from that show. Like now I can go and headline B and C comedy clubs across America. I can go and, you know, get paid, you know, $1,500 a week to go headline in the fucking Chuckle Bucket at fucking Chattahoochee. You know, like I'll do it. That's where I'm kind of seeing it, you know, but who knows what can happen.
That's definitely a lot of the booking now is like based off, you know, and you're seeing people that are like YouTubers that like have never done stand up that just, you know, the clubs don't care. It's like, if you can sell, you know, 300 tickets, you can sell it like, you know, if 1,000 people will come to see you over the weekend and you've never done stand up, they don't really give a fuck. Yeah, so it's like
most clubs have,
there is some of that temptation to just like, you know, I think it's important to like make that grow an audience. And it's like, if it's not solely from stand up, it's like, as long as it's something else you like to do equally, or just you like to do, you know?
Right.
It seems like that's kind of the way things are moving. I don't know if that's good or bad or whatever, but
Yeah, it's frustrating, and again, I know that it's kind of backwards thinking, but it's reality, and I'm at least going to be at the end of the day, I believe that if I do get lucky and I do have something pop off, if I do get booked at a club, I'll at least be funny, like I do have that background now. I'm not just going to be some TikToker that, shows up and is, did y'all see that TikTok I did on my grandma? I pranked the shit out of her. Woo! Everyone, like, no material for 30 fucking minutes, but they paid the venue $500 and sold out the place. So they get to, it's detrimental to comedy, but it is what it is, dude. It's business.
Yeah, as long as I'm successful enough that I can sell tickets, that I'm trying to do this. So that all of my goals are trying to point me in that direction to where I have enough of a following that people want to come out and hear my jokes. And if I get there, I'm happy.
Yeah, it's a grind, dude. It's a frustrating open mic, possibly homeless, 6th Street grind, dude. It's
What's your goals this year look like, Nick?
I'm trying to do, I'd like to do a show in basically like kind of what I was saying, like, Kansas City, Little Rock, Joplin, Dallas, Austin, like, I was really just all the border states to where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
If I could do some shows there. And then, I guess like the minutes is always like a thing, right? Like trying to quantify it in terms of like, I have like my 20-minute set, or I have like my 30 to an hour or whatever. I mean, I guess if I could like be consistently featuring and be like, I'm crushing that 20-minute, 25-minute spot, that would be great, But I definitely would like to kind of just be hopping around, trying to like get out and see. Also, like also another thing I'm learning is like, so much of just this is like meeting people that are doing it in different scenes, and like a lot of the booking is reciprocal booking, or like friends of friends, or like, which some people would be like, that's just fucking bullshit, like I'm funnier than this person. But it's like, if you're cool and like you like people and are like someone that people are like, I like this person, I want them to come back to my show or my place, like that's kind of easier than being funny. You know what I mean? Creepy. So it's like, if you can be funny and do that, it seems like that's the move.
You got to be a good hang. You can't just be funny, because if you're funny but you're a dick, nobody's going to want to go on the road with you.
Right. Absolutely.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. And not being a problem, like being something that is easy to work with. Not having demands, not having like, I think my picture should be bigger on the flyer. Like that's that bullshit I hate.
No, that definitely is just taxing for sure. Right. I also don't know if your camera has like a zoom on it, but I feel like as this has gone over, you guys have gotten farther and farther out of frame.
We've slowly leaned away, but what you're seeing is not what we're going to be posting. But
okay,
also, I may be off frame right now.
I've got 2 cameras in here that are on each of us, and then your camera's going to show you, and it'll go between all 3. The webcam is just so that you can see us while we're recording.
Nice. Okay, good. Because I was like, I feel like either of you guys are having like you guys had like a fight off camera, and they're just getting farther and farther away from each other.
One of our goals is to not be as close as we are. To stop being friends. No, but we're excited to have you next week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it'll be a fun time.
Yeah, so you got Dallas May 4th?
2nd and 3rd.
May 2nd and 3rd, 2 shows.
2 shows, yeah.
Nice.
So it'll be. That's why we're trying to promote it now, because I don't know that many people. I was like, Nathan was like, some people in Dallas. I'm like, yeah.
Of course not.
And I could probably sell some tickets.
Are you on stage pretty often at 509? Like you just kind of pop up and.
I try not to, because I know, you know what I mean? Like I know people that book shows and stuff that are on, and like the last thing I want is it to be like, oh, you're just like is on there all the time. I'm there like every week to like GM it a little bit and like see the vibe and see like what's going on. But no, I'm not really. I mean, no, not really. I haven't got on. If I'm on, like I booked myself, like I'm like hosting or I'm doing the local spot, I'm not just like jumping on ever.
So people could perhaps catch you. They'll at least get to meet you up at 509 eventually. They'll get to see you.
Oh yeah,
showcase
definitely come to Club 509, the Kava Bar right off Dixon. It's like 509 Center Street or something is the address. Come to those. Those are great shows. And if you say that you watch this podcast, I'll let you in for free.
Nice.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. How do you like that?
Appreciate
like
that, man. Yeah.
Free.
Yeah.
All right.
So you're a friend of the podcast. Yeah.
I hope you're prepared for the waves of people you're about to get.
Oh, yeah. We need them. Bring them. Yeah. That's better than the lady that drinks her piss. That's who I've been hanging out with
Absolutely,
Friday.
man. Oh,
Yeah.
God. Well, thank you so much, Nick. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Love you guys.
Love
Take
you.
it easy.
Peace.
Running a business is hard in many ways, especially when it comes to tech. Not only do you have to maintain your business, but you've also got to maintain a network for you and your clients, keeping yourselves and your customers connected to the world. And who knows who can hack into your information, accessing sensitive files? And what do these wires even do? You don't have to do this alone. Call the experts at Professional Computer Services Incorporated. They've got master technicians that can help you navigate the wild world of networking. They can set up security against cyber attacks. And they'll be there to tell you that it's actually not a networking issue. We're being attacked by a foreign entity, and it's the end of the world. Time to bug out. IT doesn't have to be scary. Call Professional Computer Services Incorporated.
Does your office feel like you're working out of a shoebox? Does your workspace feel as cramped as a sardine can? Are you juggling work and clutter, literally? You don't have to take drastic measures. With Nabholz Properties, space is no longer an issue. Check out this beautiful office space they have available right now in the Argenta Arts District in downtown North Little Rock. Imagine hosting meetings in a room that inspires. Now imagine enjoying the view while closing your next big deal. At Nabholz Properties, success has room to stretch out. Visit nabprop.com today.